Let's talk for a minute about dealing with disappointment. Today started out as a rough day for me. You may or may not know, but today's my birthday, and it is also going to be the day that I was going to launch the new book, my daily accountability journal. Unfortunately, I screwed up in the publishing process, and that's going to be delayed, so we're going to move the launch back about 5 to 7 days and tentatively schedule it for a week from today on January 24th. Stay tuned for more information about that. But specifically disappointment, as you can imagine, it was like getting punched in the stomach. I had been so excited, and I hadn't been this excited for a long time about a project that had coming up. You know how it feels when you pour your heart and soul into something. You put your blood, your sweat, your tears, you literally sweat, you can see I'm sweating right now, into something, and you believe so much in that it can really be a useful tool to help other people, and then only to run into a wall, to run into an obstacle, to have it not work out the way you wanted it to. When I encounter disappointment, there's a few things that I do to navigate through it, and I thought I'd share those with you in hopes that maybe it would help you. The first and foremost is you want to honor whatever feeling comes up. Now, there's a caveat to this. You want to honor it to a healthy point, because when we're dealing with strong emotions like disappointment and what we attach to it, sometimes that emotion can drift into the realm of unhealthy behavior. So as an example, when I started to feel that disappointment this morning, I felt the frustration, the shame, the embarrassment, the anger, the upset that went with it. And there's also that voice that said, well, this is all done. Why don't you just chuck the whole project? Screw it. It's never going to work. You might as well go and do X, Y, and Z. That's not a healthy part of honoring the emotion. The real healthy part is just realizing that, yeah, I'm disappointed, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, and allow myself to feel that. And then once you feel it, the second thing is you want to take a breath and ask a question. The question is, what does this mean? Or what am I making this mean? Because there's the disappointment, which is a very real emotion, and then there's the story you're telling yourself that's fueling the emotional intensity. In that moment, I was telling myself, this means that I am a screw up. This means that people won't take me seriously. This means that people aren't going to want to buy the book now. This means that I'm going to be stuck having to deal with my birthday on my own. It went on and on and on. And so it was really important to recognize that there's the initial emotion of feeling disappointed because the book launch didn't work out according to plan. And then there's all the subsequent emotions that are completely derived from what I'm making something mean. Once you do that, the third thing you want to do is you don't want to let the moment become a mountain, meaning that many of our moments, many of the emotionally intense parts of our life happen in a certain moment. I feel disappointed because the moment was I found out that the book wasn't going to be published today. And that's where the disappointment came from. And then what we end up doing is we allow that moment to pollute all the other moments that are still to come for the day. It's kind of like saying I have some rotten milk in my fridge, and rather than just taking the milk out and throwing it away, I pull it out, I pull all the food out of my refrigerator, and I dump that rotten milk over all the food. And now I've just soiled and ruined the rest of it. It doesn't have to be that way. So you want to recognize that there's disappointment, but also recognize that it's happening in this moment, and it means that all the moments that are still to come, they're still free to choose. You can still make them what you want. And the fourth and final thing I do, and this one's really important, is then I look at a reframe. And the reframe is always going to be something of how can I look at what I'm disappointed about and turn it into something positive, something I can use to go forward. And what that reframe was for me today was, you may or may not know, I've always struggled with celebrating my birthday. It is a hard thing for me. I've written a bunch about it on social media today. If you need a link to it, let me know. I'll send it to you, but you can just search around social media. There's some more information out there about that. And so my brilliant idea was if I did a fundraiser and if I did the book launch on my birthday, it would be a way for me to celebrate my birthday, but maybe it'd also be a way that I could, maybe cajole some people into supporting the book who wouldn't otherwise because they wanted to do it just to support my birthday. So the reframe I use is, well, now this really gives me accountability to having my birthday just be about me. And now it gives it an opportunity for the book to just stand on its own merit. The book just gets to stand alone. It gets to be its own thing. People get to buy independently of having anything to do with the birthday. And wouldn't that be a more healthy and empowering way for me in both fronts? One, to celebrate my birthday, and two, for launching the book. The last thing about disappointment, and I'll say this, most disappointment, if you do life right, you are always going to have times where you're going to run into disappointment. Anytime you have a goal that matters to you, inevitably it's not going to always, they're going to sometimes not going to work according to plan. And if you're setting realistic goals for yourself, if you're setting things that are completely within your wheelhouse to obtain at some point, disappointment doesn't mean never. It just means not yet. So anyways, I hope this helps you. I appreciate so much you being a part of this day to day, a part of the book launch, a part of the birthday, a part of this community, listening, investing your time in this. And I just deeply appreciate you, and I hope you have the most amazing rest of your day. Bye-bye.